Hello and a warm welcome to Conny Decorates today. Micha, the cameraman, is especially happy today because I love entrances, Christmas entrances, water. That's right, because today we're decorating our house entrance as requested by a subscriber, beautifully with Christmas roses, which we've brought in, completely natural, homemade garlands and a few light sources. Exactly, and if you want to know how it works, stay tuned because we're going to show you now. And these are the things we'll need today for the house entrance. Very Christmassy, a bit late, but here it comes now. So let us show you real quick. Here I have burlap fabric. These are old potato sacks. To go with it, I also have this star, which I just found in the basement. Then some jute ribbon. Next, here are 3 sturdy wooden stars. So then we have some fir trees here. One is a pine, and these others, which we've had on the terrace the whole time, I just put them in a bigger pot now. Then we have here, one of our subscribers had requested this, a Christmas rose. I have more downstairs, which will be planted outside. These ones are just for these pots, and I actually have 3 different sizes, and they're made in a bit of a vintage look. I think it fits really nicely, especially here with these brown handles. Then in the back I also have the euphorbia and the thyme. I actually just found a sprig, which I think could come in handy. Then there's this door wreath, so if you've been following our videos for a while, you probably already know it. 2, last time we decorated it for autumn, I had a few pumpkins on it here. The string lights are still in there, and I don't want to change much about it. It will just be redecorated a little to match the outdoor decor. You can check it out up here in the info box because we made it ourselves with wire mesh fencing as well as this wreath. Yes, feel free to take a look. So then on the other side here, this jute ribbon again. I still have a piece of coconut rope. Then here are some pine cones, coconut stars, just some leftovers I still have. Also a few tree fungi, I have them in here as well. And then we have 2 rustic lanterns, which I think are really beautiful. Here I have a real wax candle, and up here in front I have a tea light. Let me show you exactly, and I think that fits really well today. Down below we also have the birch ladder, which will get one as well. Oh, fairy lights. Look, Micha, I'll show those as well. And this time I have 2 strings, exactly 20 LEDs, so they're not that long. And yes, those will also be included in the decoration. And down below we have the birch ladder, which will also be spruced up a bit to match this winter theme. And I would say, let's get started. To get some nice height and make the fir tree, or the plant, whichever, stand a bit taller, I'm going to take some paper, crumple it up nicely, and put it down here at the bottom. I'm not going to actually plant my plants in here. I'll leave them in their pots. And to prevent waterlogging, of course, the pots have holes at the bottom. That's why, as a protective layer, I'm just going to use this burlap sack we have and lay it inside here. And then my plant goes right on top, and I think it fits wonderfully into the decoration. I'm going to do the same thing now with the pine and also with the Christmas rose. They'll go in first, and then I'll just cover them a bit with burlap. You can also cut off a bit here, because this pot is just a little smaller and the other one is even smaller. And that's why I think it's perfectly and cozily wrapped up, look, really snuggled in. And I think, of course, you can leave the burlap out or you can fray the ends a bit here, which also looks really, really nice. But what I do is just tuck a little bit in here and there, pull a little out, just very, very natural. And I take the jute ribbon and thread it between the pine cones, wrap it around once and twist it together. And I actually think a star fits really well here too, of course. I take the hot glue and attach a star here as well. And you can really use anything you want, anything you have. You can use nuts. Look, I actually have some right here as well, and I'll attach those too, just like you might do. Now I'll just add a few more things here and there. some peanuts, star anise, pine cones, and the coconut stars. Exactly, I've attached them here now. I thought that looked really nice. And you can use them just like a garland on a Christmas tree or like tinsel in the old days. You can simply lay them in here and look, it's all very natural. If we didn't have cats, I might also use small pieces of nuts. Popcorn is also really cute, of course without sugar, just string it on some twine and you can work that in as a garland too. But that's a bit too low for me, so I'm being a little careful here. So now we have the natural garland ready, and I think the star, which is wrapped with jute twine, fits perfectly here as well. Then I just take a piece of jute twine, tie it around the garland, slide it up a bit here, and just let it hang down. Now we'll do it like this. Here we had beautifully decorated with heather, and I can actually remove it really easily. It's just wired on a bit here. I'll just take that off now, and the barbed wire is still in great shape, so it can stay just as it is, and I'll leave it in there. But what I'd like to do now, since it's a bit Christmassy, or actually it is Christmassy, is use this one, which I found at Hof Elkers, and you can attach it up here to the door frame. And here, I just want to wire the wreath on again. So now I'll take a piece of wire, and I've just fixed it to the other wire at the top, tied a knot exactly, and now it hangs perfectly. I can show you again. When I make the wreaths, I always use this felt trim. It always fits perfectly, so nothing gets scratched. And yes, it offers a bit of protection. So I'll just cut off the old wire now, and what do we want to do next? Now we want to add a bit of natural decoration. And what I found, these artificial antlers, I think they're really, really cute. And for these, I'll just leave the jute ribbon on and simply, look, it fits perfectly in terms of width. I'll just wire it onto the wreath right here. And now I just take a piece of wire like this, which is perfect because you can thread it right through the chicken wire. Now I come around to the front here and just twist it together like this, and then it holds perfectly. You can also carefully position it a little bit more, if you like, and then just cut off any of the excess material, and you'll have it nicely secured in place. I'll do the same thing with the other one as well. And here you can see again the moss. I don't know how long it's been. When did we make this? Weeks ago. The moss is still wonderfully green, perfectly dried out, really great. You don't need to replace it at all. You could, since it's just tucked in, but I think it looks just right. I'll turn on the original string lights so you can get an idea, because I actually want to. Look, Micha, just add a few pine cones. Let's show you. You can just lay a few in here. There's already a pine cone inside, and now a few more will go in. I think a little coconut star would also add a bit of a Christmas touch. Of course, it has to go in the basket, and now you can decorate it however you like. But what I want is a really beautiful, big, natural-looking bow, and now I'm just checking the length to see how I want the ribbon to hang, because I'll be attaching the bow up here, and I think this looks really nice. So I'll take my ribbon here and make a loop, what I always call a bunny ear, and then fold it back again. And now at this stage we already have the basic shape of the bow formed, and since I want it to be double layered for extra thickness and strength, I'll do it again, this time once more, carefully wrapping it over the middle and then back again to reinforce the structure. Now I'll just carefully cut off the excess at the bottom, then take a small piece of wire, gather the center together and secure it right here. After that, I'll cut off the remaining wire. I'll tuck the rest in here, and now, like this, it needs to hang down, and then I'll use the remaining wire up here to attach my bow to the wreath, which always looks cute. You can also do it at an angle, by which I mean a little bit slanted, and I think that's what I'll do as well. Now I'll place it right here and gently twist it into the branches. Look, now I lay the ribbon over itself. Down here, take the scissors and cut it at an angle into the tip, and then you have a wonderful finish. I think that always looks really, really nice. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So, and I'd say the wreath with the bow is finished. We still have some leftovers, and the ones from our pine tree go really nicely with the Christmas rose, so I'll just tuck them in here as well. That means you get a really lovely natural height here, and from the euphorbia I'll also take a few branches and place them here. I think with the pine it's really cute. You can just add those in as well. Especially with these gnarled branches, it's always wonderful, but I think this might be a bit too much. I'll just take a little more here and, yes, tuck it in as well. And I also really love our beautiful wooden stars. They always look great as decoration. Very decorative, not too much, very natural. And now I'll use the LED lights, which I think are really great. If you have other things like a Santa Claus or, I don't know, a wooden angel or whatever, or a Rudolph, you can also simply wrap a string of lights around the figure. And that really highlights any decorative item, especially with fairy lights. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and the timer is on, which means they always turn on at the same time and turn off again after 6 hours, and you can hide it really well here. But what you can also do now, I have my ribbon here. I think, Micha, we need to close it up a bit. It's getting really, really dark back there, isn't it? I think so too, but I'm just going to cut a bit of this jute ribbon here. Of course, you can use whatever you like, and you can just lay it on top here or behind it, so it's a bit more hidden. Now I'm taking a bit of wire and just twisting it around once like this. Exactly, I'll cut off the rest. I hope you can see that. I'll just come to the front again for a moment so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Exactly, I just twist it tightly here once, and you can cut off the rest now. It's a bit hidden, and I'll just place it carefully behind like this, and I'll do the same with the other two sections as well. And I'd say, Micha, we should hurry downstairs before the big rain comes, and yes, we can also plant the Christmas roses nicely down there with you all, so I'd say let's head down and we'll see each other again in a moment. Haven't planted in a long time, have we? Yes, in autumn, but a subscriber requested the Christmas roses, and that's why today we're making the entrance really beautiful with Christmas roses, and I think they're wonderful too. We also have them in the back garden, and later in spring, these will be planted out in the garden as well. And look how cute they are. Everywhere you look, they're always so rewarding, with little buds popping out all over the place. So really, really great. We planted these planters in the autumn. I only took out one heather here, and over here I didn't remove anything at all. I've still got a bit of space back here, so I'm going to plant a beautiful Christmas rose here as well. I'm just working the soil. Look, I'm making a real mess here again, but it'll be swept away in a moment. So, and here too, the Christmas roses are going in, just like in the big planter up front by the entrance. You can see it there. We can show it to you like this. I'll just go up here, and I'd actually like to put 2 of them in here. That way we'll have some real volume and it'll look really full. And once the string lights are turned on, it'll be super cozy. Swept up really nicely here. And now there's this birch ladder. By the way, you can check the info box for that. I think we made it in the summer. Exactly, and we've already decorated with it a few times here at the front. Before we had it in the garden. And now I've just put an outdoor string of lights on it, along with the moss heart. And I'm just going to leave the other decoration on there as it is. And now I'm just going to place it back here in the corner as a light source. And in front of that, I'll take this column here, and in front of the birch ladder, I'll now place the planted column. And here it's really nicely protected, even from heavy rain. And here I would just put this wooden star on the side. And look, right? Now, in terms of height, we've got a really nice decoration here, and it's very, very natural. So we've now put the light up stars into each of the wicker baskets, which I think looks really, really nice. And oh, Berry, hello. And here, the big one, the large fir tree, will go up here in the corner, which I also think looks really beautiful. And here, the other 2, the medium and the small one, will go right here on the steps in front. And I think the beautiful lanterns, since we're still going to do the terrace, will, of course, naturally become part of the decor out on the terrace in the coming days. But we're still missing the wreath, Micha, or rather, the wreath. And then there's something else. A little accident happened. The outside door is much, much thicker than the interior doors, obviously. And of course it didn't hold. And then the wreath just fell down on me. But now I've hung it up a bit higher again. Exactly, but I really like this light source here and also up front. And look what I just brought up from the basement. We had it last year too. Merry Christmas. That already fits perfectly for the Christmas season. And yes, it always goes especially well with these natural things. And dear friends, if we were able to inspire you with this topic today, we would be very happy to receive a thumbs up. And feel free to follow us on Instagram or Facebook. Below you will find the links to each of them again. Exactly, for Facebook and Instagram. Also include the link to our website. Or Micha. Exactly, Micha just redesigned it. Take a look. You can find decorative items there too. And yes, dear friends, we look forward to decorating with you again in the coming days. Maybe we'll even get a little snow. Stay healthy, dear friends. Then I'll say, see you soon, yours, Conny. See you then, dear friends. Bye.